Do you find yourself holding back in life because you don't feel confident with how you look? Are you tired of trying to change yourself to fit in with society's standards of beauty? If you've said yes to any of these questions, don't worry, I want you to take a deep breath and relax. You're exactly where you need to be. I'm Philippa Diedrichs, a world-leading body image expert and professor of psychology at the Centre for Appearance Research. I'm going to be guiding you through some tips and exercises to help you heal your relationship with your body and redefine beauty on your own terms. Exercises like the ones we're going to be talking about in this video and in the workbook have been tested with women around the world and have been proven to help them feel more comfortable and at home in their bodies. And I'm confident that you will benefit from these too. Before we dive in, I want you to know that you're not alone. Dove has done some global research and found that 82% of women around the world don't have body confidence. That's huge. We also know from Dove's research that 1 in 2 women are setting New Year's resolutions to change their bodies because they don't like how they look. Sadly, I'm not surprised by this statistic. I've talked to thousands of women around the world and heard similar stories everywhere I go about how unhappy they are with their bodies and how they wish their life might be different if they could change the way that they looked.
I definitely recall many times where me not feeling great about my body would either make me not go to things or not participate or do that but be annoyed about it. It's honestly hell, and it's happened to me for many years, just not being completely satisfied with the way you look.
I've always been like a really bubbly, friendly, chatty person, but I've noticed like the older I get, it's like there's a light that's dimming, and I really do think it's a result of the number of years I've spent telling myself that I'm not good enough.
I'm starting to get wrinkles and stuff now, and I've got grey hair that I have to part my hair in a certain way because I don't want it to be seen as much. And it bothers me. It does bother me.
Essentially, it's really hard to get the most out of life when you are unhappy with the way that you look. It's really hard to feel confident chairing a meeting at work, feeling motivated to exercise, or even being comfortable and fully in the moment during sex. We're sold the idea that to feel happier about the way that we look, we should change how we look. But what if we could flip the script on that and redefine beauty on our own terms and change our relationship to our bodies instead? Are you ready to redefine beauty on your own terms? Let's get started. One of the first steps to building body confidence is making a commitment to yourself. So I want you to now get your workbook out and start working through the first exercises to do just that. The good news is that you don't have to love every aspect of how you look to be body confident. In fact, when we talk about body confidence as psychologists, what we're meaning is that it's about developing acceptance, respect, and gratitude for your body. Even the bits that you might feel ambivalent about or that you don't like. It's about that overall sense of appreciation for your body. When you're feeling uncomfortable in your body, there's an irresistible urge to set some kind of resolution or goal to change the way that you look, as though that's going to make you feel better. But what I'd encourage you to do is make a commitment to yourself and get really clear with your intentions, and instead consider how healing your relationship with your body might be a better goal in the longer term to help you lead the life that you want to lead. I think it's important to be realistic that building body confidence isn't going to happen overnight. Unfortunately, it's something that we often work on throughout our lives.
I think I went through an interesting phase in entering into womanhood where I became acutely aware of the fact that my body was changing and there was nothing I could do about that. And part of me really loved that, to be honest. Like, I found it quite liberating because I guess when my body was changing in a way that I couldn't control, it felt way easier to say, well, I have to accept this.
Here are some ways that you can nurture body confidence in your day-to-day life. The first one is filtering out unhelpful beauty pressures. So this might be culling accounts on social media that you notice yourself comparing your body to or that don't make you feel great about yourself.
So I'm really intentional about who I follow on social media now in terms of influencers and making sure that they look like me and that they can represent me.
I just think we're all affected by everything that's out there. No one walks around with their eyes closed and their ears closed.
The second one is listening to your body and honoring its needs. So noticing when you're hungry, noticing when you're tired, or meeting its needs for pleasure.
So nowadays, if I hit the gym and I may be tired one day, I feel like it's okay to stop.
The third way, which is one of my favorites and one of the most powerful, is taking moments throughout your day to focus on what your body can do rather than what it looks like, and appreciating all of the amazing things that our bodies do to allow us to get through life. What I'd like to remind you of, if you're having a bad body image day, that's okay. The important thing in those moments is to be really kind to yourself, be patient, and maybe talk to yourself as though you were a friend and give yourself some grace. I'd invite you to pause the video now and turn to your workbook. Dove's research around the world has shown that 1 in 3 women would sacrifice a year of their life if it meant they could have the perfect body.
Put so plainly, it's really scary.
It sounds like a good gamble, but it's also sad. You could experience many things in that year, so you're essentially maybe robbing yourself.
Some of the stories I hear are things like women saying they felt pressure from social media to get painful lip fillers repeatedly that are also really expensive. They've really struggled with how their body has changed and their weight has changed after giving birth and having a baby. And also thinking that they're gonna look unattractive if they let their hair go grey, or not even feeling comfortable to use dating apps because they're worried about being judged with how they look. The really common thread to all of these stories is that society's standards of beauty have a real impact on our lives and how we show up in the world. So I'd like you to think about, what does society tell us the perfect woman looks like? Pause. Take a moment to get her in your head.
I am seeing a flat stomach,
White, straight teeth,
curvy hips,
perky boobs,
nice bum,
long hair.
long legs.
This is a societal idea of beauty that is shaped by culture, gender stereotypes, social media, industry pressures, and the list goes on. You might be wondering, what's the harm in trying to look good if it makes me feel good? But here's the thing, this often has the feel-good factor because we're conforming to society's standards of beauty. And the other thing is, it's often fleeting because there's always going to be a new trend to follow, a new flaw to fix, or a new product to buy. In reality, our bodies are naturally going to change as we go through life and experience all the different life stages that come with it. I'd love you to take a moment to imagine if you redirected all of the time, energy, money, and worry that you spend on your appearance. And then imagine reinvesting that into things in your life that you really value, that you enjoy. I'd invite you to pause the video now and turn to your workbook. Have you ever paused to ask yourself, is your beauty routine serving you, or are you serving it? A really important distinction to make when thinking about your beauty routine is, what are some of the behaviors and practices that are helpful and which ones are harmful? And when you can make this distinction, it really helps you create a routine that works for you. So unhelpful beauty practices are the ones that feel anxiety driven, or that we're doing it because we need to meet someone else's approval or society's standards. On the other hand, helpful beauty practices, or ones that are enjoyable, they're really about seeing beauty as a form of creativity, self-expression, authenticity. So that might include playing with the way that you look, or it might include sometimes not doing anything to the way that you look and just showing up as you naturally are. The important thing is that it's on your own terms, it feels authentic to you, and it aligns with your values.
The decision to get tattoos and consciously pick things about my body that I can change definitely gave me the confidence, and definitely gave me the feeling that I am now living in the body of my choice.
I was going to a really big event and I didn't have the energy to wear makeup. And I genuinely toyed with not going. What actually happened was I went, didn't wear not a lick of makeup at all, and I felt so free because I had done that. It was such a freeing experience, and I think that was the beginning of like the place that I'm at now, where I very rarely wear makeup and I often feel very good about how I look.
Some really nice example of helpful beauty practices could be hairstyles that reflect your cultural heritage, or clothes that align with your gender expression, or makeup styles that feel really creative and colourful and bring you joy or make you feel powerful, or even skincare routines that soothe dry or itchy skin and make you feel cared for and nourished.
I do believe in expressing myself through my clothes. Like, I like colour. It makes me feel happy.
I might not wear makeup, but I'll invest in my perfume. I'll invest in my body creams. Like, I want to feel nourished and well moisturized, because that's a version of self-care for me. And that makes me feel more confident showing up into spaces.
When you prioritize beauty on your own terms, not only do you unlock an opportunity for creativity and for self-expression, but it's an opportunity to celebrate your identity, get to know who you are, and put that out into the world. I'd invite you to pause the video now and turn to your workbook. I want to thank you for coming along with me on this journey and taking the time to reflect on your own experiences and set new intentions when it comes to body confidence. This is not always an easy journey, and it's something that you're going to return to throughout your life, but I'd really encourage you to keep going with it, because there are so many benefits to feeling at home in your body and to appreciating and respecting it. I'd love for you to continue this conversation, share this video and the workbook with your friends, and keep coming back to it on days when you feel like a boost.